Up on our program, the second race of the day from the MX5 Cup Series. They were first on the track this morning at 8:30 a.m. Plenty of drama in that race. Tony Laporta will join us shortly. We'll talk MX5 Cup. That will be followed by Porsche GT3 Cup, race number 1 in their series, the IndyCar Series qualifying, and in USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000, both racing to conclude our Saturday program. Speedway is proud to be part of the communities it serves and proud to be the official fuel and convenience store of the NTT IndyCar Series. At Speedway, you'll find everything you need for life on the go. Great food and beverage choices, and only Speedway has a free Speedy Rewards card where you earn points for food, merchandise, and more. TAG Heuer welcomes everyone to the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, the ultimate showcase for drivers and fans who don't crack under pressure. TAG Heuer is the official timepiece of the NTT IndyCar Series, and the winner of this weekend's race will receive the TAG Heuer Indy 500 Limited Edition watch. IndyCar would like to thank the following official sponsors for their support. All Clear Foundation, an official charity of the NTT IndyCar Series. Borg Warner Turbocharger. AMR, American Medical Response, the official partner of the AMR IndyCar Safety Team. Firestone, the official tire. Honda, an official passenger vehicle and official pace car. Honda Power Equipment, promotional partner. IndyCar would also like to thank Jostens, the official championship ring and trophy supplier. Larson's, promotional partner. Lincoln Welders, official welder. Pennzoil, official partner of the Radio Network Entitlement, and Performance Friction Group, exclusive supplier of braking systems. The NTT IndyCar Series is back at the track for the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. For more info about the NTT IndyCar Series, including all the latest schedule information, driver information, and the latest news, download the IndyCar app or head to IndyCar.com. If you don't have the IndyCar app, you should be getting it for live timing and scoring, fantasy racing, and the latest IndyCar news. Visit the App Store to download the Ultimate Race Companion IndyCar app powered by NTT Data today. Don't miss a minute of the live action. The IndyCar app also gets you into the driver's seat. If you download the IndyCar app powered by NTT Data, live in-car cameras with live audio during the race, ride along with your favorite driver and become part of the action. There is so much happening on the grounds here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. As we mentioned previously, the speed zone is open, gasoline alley is open. It is an opportunity for you to get special deals on end-of-season merchandise. End of season means special discounts as well. We thank you for so many fans that have come in today. It has gone so smoothly, just as it did yesterday. Thank you so much for following our COVID-19 protocols so that we can have a smooth and healthy and safe race for everyone that is attending. If you didn't catch it on the PA during the IndyCar session with Kim Green, one of the owners of this event and the promoters of this event, we have reached the limit in terms of sellout tickets that we are available. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support and being patient with us as we came back. And again, give yourself plenty of time when you do return to the track tomorrow. Make sure that you have plenty of time to go through the COVID-19 protocol temperature checks when you come in and the screening. There are lots of hand sanitizer stations throughout, hand washing stations throughout. And again, make sure you keep those assigned seats in the grandstands to maintain social distancing. We thank you for your help. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to one of our staff or volunteers. MX5 Cup cars are beginning to make their way in towards position. They will be out on pit lane momentarily. That is the next event up on track here. It will be followed by Porsche GT3 Cup, their first race of the weekend. Jeff Kingsley has been dominant in the series. He looks to continue that domination this weekend. The NTT IndyCar Series qualifying and 2 more races to round out our day. But as mentioned, next up it is the MX5 Cup cars. Tony Laporta, the voice of the MX5 Cup, joins me, and we had plenty of action and drama right off the start this morning. At 8:30 we were expecting green, but didn't get it.
No, we didn't, and that was due to the fact that pole sitter Gresham Wagner from Spark Performance, who got the pole position in qualifying late last night, blew an engine on the warm-up lap. And when I say he blew an engine, folks, I don't mean an oil line fell off and the thing ran out of oil pressure and it seized. I mean a hole was blown in the side of his Mazda MX-5's engine. He did not take the green flag. In fact, we were delayed, as Todd said, over 10 minutes from taking the original start for what should have been a 45-minute race. It became a 30-minute race, pretty much right on the dot. The drama continues here in race number 2 of the weekend, the 12th and final round of the 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich season, because Gresham Wagner, who earned both pole positions in qualifying yesterday, they have not been able to get that car fixed up and ready to get back out on track. I don't see him on pit lane because sometimes if the car doesn't make it to false grid in time, they will have to start the race from the exit of pit lane. Gresham Wagner's number 5 from Spark Performance isn't even down in pit lane, so it looks like we will be down one car, and it was pole sitter Gresham Wagner who is not going to take the green.
That's the other part of the drama. This is not just another car. This was the pole sitter who was supposed to be the pole sitter for both races. He set the pace during the qualifying session, put up 2 quick times because it was a single qualifying session, 2 fast laps, and now Celine Roland will move into that number 1 position just as he did in race number 1, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the field and with the championship chase. As you mentioned, this is the final race of the season.
So as they're on their warm-up lap, quickly, let's take a quick look at some championship possibilities. These are all courtesy of Aaron Seacole, Mazda MX5 Cup PR Whiz Kid from Sunday Group Management. If Robert Noaker, who will start this race in the 3rd position, wins today in race number 2, he'll have 287 points total. Michael Carter, who is the championship point leader as of right here, right now, by 17 points. If Noaker can win, Michael Carter needs to finish 7th position or better to win the Road to 24 championship and the $200,000 that comes along with it. If Noaker wins the race but Carter gets a bonus point, which he can either get by leading the most laps or setting the fastest lap of the race. If Noaker wins and Carter gets 1 bonus point, Michael Carter needs to finish 8th or better. So that makes his job a little bit easier. It looks like they're going to send him around for 1 more pace lap here so we can give you the rest of these point scenarios. Should Robert Noaker win round 12 here today and he gets 1 bonus point, Michael Carter also gets a bonus point. Carter needs to finish 7th or better. If Noaker wins the 2nd race, which is about to go green, and he gets both bonus points for leading the most laps and setting the fastest race lap, Michael Carter then, the pressure is really on. Carter must finish 5th or better. And if it has to go down to a tiebreaker, it will go to whoever has the most race wins. So if Noaker wins this race that we're about to go green on, he will have 4 wins to Carter's 3. So those are the scenarios. Again, 7th, 8th position is where Carter has to finish should Robert Noaker win. But if Robert Noaker just comes out here and smacks him in the mouth, wins the race, sets the fastest lap, and leads the most lap, getting those 2 critical bonus points, then Carter needs to finish 5th or better. So good luck keeping track of all that.
I hope you got all that because there will be a test later, right? Is that how these scenarios play? That is a complicated equation.
Aaron Seacole from Sunday Group Management likes to throw scenarios at me all the time to see if I can trip up. Thankfully, she laid that one out pretty simply. And like we said, Carter, he's in the catbird seat. He leads by 17 points. If he wins, it's over, right? It doesn't matter what Robert Noaker does. But if Noaker wins, then the pressure is on Carter to finish 7th or 8th pretty much, unless Noaker can get both bonus points.
And that shows just how close the competition is in the MX5 Cup, that there are so many scenarios. The point standings are so close that there are multiple combinations of what may happen. Cars are just making their way around the back part of the course, waiting for them to come up through towards corner 10 right now. They will start to double up, and then we will get the green flag, and we'll have 45 minutes of racing in race number 2 of the MX5 Cup.
Todd, it's the final round of the 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. We weren't even supposed to be racing in St. Pete when 2020 began, but it's beautiful. We're right here on Tampa Bay. The fans are packed in the stands, and we are getting ready to go racing. $200,000 is on the line for whoever can secure the championship when this one's over.
Pace car getting away from the field. The rest of the field is just approaching corner number 13, and that is a nice formation, doubled up beautifully as you want to be right up, tucked underneath the bumper of the car in front of you, awaiting that green flag at the start-finish line.
Side by side, Celine Roland and championship leader Michael Carter hit the punch-off zone. Green flag flies. Let's get it on for 45 minutes. The final time in 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup is racing here in St. Petersburg, Florida. They get on the brakes as they come across the runway strips, side by side, 3 rows deep. Couple guys are trying to make it nearly 3 wide as they hit the left-hander, turn number 2. But Celine Roland, your pole sitter, does exactly what he has to do, just like in race 1 this morning, Todd. He leads them out of the opening corners.
And making sure that you get through smoothly. That's the important part of corner number 1. 3 wide, we do have a car that looks like it's brushed the wall there.
That's Luke Oxner. That's the number 77 of Luke Oxner, who has made hard left front contact. Oh, and his weekend with the barriers here in St. Petersburg, he made contact in practice number 1 after laying down the second fastest lap of the session. He missed practice number 2 as a result of it, and his final race of the season looks to be over on the opening lap after hard left front contact.
That's the difficult part. We talked about this during the practice session on Friday with the contact that was so significant and so severe it required him to miss the second practice session, and you wonder how much that lack of track time has hurt him, how much he's missed from the rest of the competitors who were able to spend all the practice sessions out there and qualify.
You know, and these walls here, they don't move when you hit them. Not in an Indy car, not in a GT3 Cup car, and certainly not in an MX5 Cup car. So any contact at all will knock the toe in on the front tires. It'll damage bodywork. It can even break metal parts on these race cars. The field unwinds, and they see double yellow flags. So whatever happened to Luke Oxner seems to have left enough debris, probably bodywork, from the left front corner of that race car. There you see a live shot of the MX5 Cup safety car driven by Gail Truess waiting on the exit of turn number 1 to pick up the field here. So race 1 starts under a full course caution. Race 2 gets the green flag, but we're less than 1 lap into it, and there's already drama.
But the clock does run. We're down already towards 43 minutes remaining in this race, just as it was this morning. We did not get the green flag right away, but the clock did start. They are 45 minutes. It doesn't matter how much yellow there is or if there are other circumstances. They are trying to indicate to the drivers to stay to driver's right so that they can clear the problem and hopefully get things sorted back out and get back to green flag action again quickly. So for Celine Roland, for Robert Noaker, and all the others, it's a matter of now we have to do this one more time. They got through corner number 1. Everything seemed to be going well, but Luke Oxnar, who started back in the field in 8th, causes a problem, brings out the yellow flag, so they have to go through this process once again.
And the word from race control is, in fact, a full course yellow due to debris over in turn number 3 off of the number 77 from White Racing of Luke Oxner. So that's the reason safety crews are going out there. They're picking up the debris because you can't run over that stuff or it will cut a tire and cause bigger wrecks and more serious situations. So that's the reason for the full course yellow. And Todd, you hit a great point. Celine Roland, Michael Carter, Robert Noaker, they've got to do it all over again.
And look at where Michael Carter is, down in 9th, which is kind of the danger zone in terms of those many scenarios that you played out with the complicated mathematics equations in terms of how the championship points will play out. Robert Noaker sitting in 2nd right now, as we did see a little bit of shuffling off the start. Celine Roland maintained top spot, but Michael Carter, I don't know if he was trying to be extra cautious. Maybe he saw the difficulties, but he winds up back significantly in the field from his 3rd starting position.
Yeah, no idea, because Oxner's contact with the wall happened so early, only the 3rd corner of the lap, and then our cameras stuck to him to find out what the issue on the car was, how bad the damage was, and I'm glad they did, because we got an idea that Oxner's race probably is in fact done. But while we were following the 77 of Oxner, we didn't see what happened to Michael Carter. He's right in front, it looks like, of Brian Hickson in 9th or in 10th place as the field comes by. This is a shot just out of corner 14 as they begin their run down the start-finish straightaway. Celine Roland is your leader. Robert Noaker's in 2nd. Jared Thomas is in 3rd. Stout 4th. Brian Hickson, I'm sorry, that's Justin Piscatel, is in 5th position. Bashura is in 6th. Atanasio, the 16-year-old who just picked up the Hard Charger Award in race 1 this morning. Joe Atanasio is 7th. Drake Kemper is 8th. He's looking for a good result after a DNF in race 1 this morning. And your championship leader, Michael Carter, down in 9th position with Jackson Robillard rounding out the top 10. So, man, TNT's not the only one that knows drama. MX5 Cup knows drama.
And we've seen plenty of it. We actually got the green to start this race on time this afternoon rather than this morning, but now we have a caution. It looks like the cleanup shouldn't take too long. That was almost 15 minutes of cleanup that was required for this morning's race because of debris and fluids that were on the track, and it was a significant cleanup, and it really turned it into a half-hour sprint race for the MX5 Cup cars. The action on track was sensational, and we love that, and we're expecting to see more of that, and in fact, more of it, because the cleanup should go a little bit quicker. Celine Roland, though, started out in the same position this morning, having a couple of laps that he led in the early going before Michael Carter stalked him, hunted him down, then took the position away from Celine Roland and led the rest of the way.
Yeah, and Carter did it beautifully by just exercising a great pass down at the end of the front straightaway heading into the first corner. Cleanup pretty much done. They're going to be coming to the green flag this time. Safety car being told by race control to speed away and leave leave the pack in the dust. The pack will pack up here and get ready for a single file restart. So the cleanup much quicker because unlike this morning's race, Gresham Wagner left a good 6 or 7 gallons of oil over in turn 13. This time it's just a little bit of bent up bodywork.
Michael Carter's work cut out for him as well. This is not a double file restart. As you said, this is single file, which means he has more cars to pass. You can't do them 2 at a time in double file.
Exactly. That's a great point. It's a single file restart. You won't be able to throw it down to the inside and get 2 for the price of 1. So Gail Truist in the MX5 Cup safety car pulls on in. We're getting ready to do it again. Aaron Likens, what do you say? Let's go racing. Green flag in the air. Celine Roland's got a mirror full of Robert Noaker. The 16-year-old looks high. Now he looks low. Noaker racing for the championship and his life here in St. Petersburg, Florida. But Jared Thomas wants to come along for the ride. 3 wide. How about it down in turn number 1? Thomas bites off a little bit more than he can chew. Noaker takes the race lead, and I think that's Celine Roland slipping from the top spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 5th. By corner number 3. That's a good starting lap.
That's it. That's a lot, the kind of action that we expect to see all weekend long here at corner number 1 here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. MX5 Cup cars lighting it up earlier this morning in that sprint race, and they are doing it again this afternoon with championship implications. Robert Noaker getting out front to try to win what he needs to do to maximize his opportunity, and Michael Carter, who had difficulty on the initial start, he is in a perilous position right now in terms of his championship lead.
Everything just got flipped upside down because, yes, Carter won round 11 earlier this morning, but that's not enough. You're only as good as your last race until the next race starts. Celine Roland has slipped from the race lead. You'll see it on your timing and scoring monitors this time as the leaders head into the last 2 corners, 13 and 14. Once Robert Noaker becomes the official leader of this race, he will be exactly where he has to be. And if he wins this race, and Michael Carter can't get out of 9th place where he's at right now, it's over. The championship, $200,000, the scholarship, it all goes to Robert Noaker. Noaker snakes out of the final corner trying to break the draft. Also, a little bit of wrinkle right here. Jared Thomas, the driver in 2nd position, is Michael Carter's teammate. Carter right up behind Alex Bashura in the number 33. Carter taking a look to the inside. Carter is there for 8th position. He's going to try and get Drake Kemper as well. Can he make it stick? He's got to be careful here. No, it looks like Carter's only going to get around Bashura, so move him up from 9th to 8th.
Ooh, that's catch your breath every lap coming through corner number 1, especially that long straightaway. As you mentioned, that Robert Noaker was snaking down the long straightaway to break the draft. Aerodynamics, extremely important on these cars in terms of using the car and cars ahead of you and behind you to break through the draft and punch a hole. The multiple cars are quicker than a single car by itself. These cars don't have the big wings or other aerodynamic parts to make them stick to the ground. So gaining a little extra speed comes from using the aerodynamics.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's a part of this MX5 Cup Championship that I think really puts emphasis on driver IQ. You know, you watch NFL games, they talk about player, football IQ. In racing, you have to have driver IQ, knowing what your car's strong suits are and maybe what its weaker points are, and that's what we're seeing Robert Noaker do. He's going to come out of the final corner, he's going to cut down to the inside, not to allow Jared Thomas to get a draft off him because, as I said, Jared Thomas is not racing for a championship, but Jared Thomas is Michael Carter's teammate. Now, I'm not insinuating that Jared Thomas would ever do anything out bounds of the rules to affect Robert Noaker, but here's the thing. If Jared Thomas can catch up to Robert Noaker and race him really, really, really hard, well, you know, there's no rules against that. So Robert Noaker sets the quickest lap of the race. It's early on here, Todd, but that's worth a bonus point if nobody else goes quicker than him, making Michael Carter's day even harder.
Carter did gain 1 spot, as mentioned. He moves up from 8th to 7th now, which helps him, but Robert Noaker being out front is not where he needs him to be. He is doing what he needs to do as well in terms of keeping Michael Carter's teammate behind him. Thomas is nearly a full second back, 9/10 of a second back after just 1 lap with Robert Noaker out in front. Now, this, as we have seen in previous sessions, will start to shrink up as the tires wear away, and again, Thomas will use that the aerodynamics tuck in behind to try to use the draft and close up on the leader.
Well, and also it's going to shrink that delta like what you just said. So you're going to see the pack tighten up as the race goes on. We're only 10 minutes into this thing, still 35 minutes to go. Carter's in a really tricky spot right now because he needs to keep climbing up the ladder, but he's stuck right behind Drake Kemper and the Hard Charger Award winning driver that we talked about in race number 1 this morning, Joe Attanasio. Attanasio is teammates with Drake Kemper. Joe's only 16 years old, and I only say that because this is his first pro race. He doesn't have a lot of experience dealing with traffic, and to make your debut in the tight streets of St. Petersburg, Florida, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Drake Kemper has gotten around Atanasio. Now Carter. Carter lines right up behind the rookie in the blue car with the yellow cage. Carter's going to try to make something happen here, but Atanasio is trying to defend a little bit down to turn number 1. And Carter is not going to be able to complete the pass in the first corner. Still lots of time to go here. Carter needs to be patient and bide his time.
I was just going to say, this is the tactic that we saw Michael Carter using this morning. He chased Celine Roland for a number of laps, found out where he was quickest, where he might have the opportunity. Obviously, the best passing opportunity is in corner number 1, but that also works in your favor. If you are right on the rear bumper of your competition for a lap or two, even the slightest mistake gives you the opportunity to pounce. So we'll see how patient Michael Carter can be with a little under 34 minutes remaining in this event.
And that's the beauty of coming to do the streets of St. Petersburg Grand Prix, Todd, is it's not a track that anybody can come and rent out and test for an off weekend or during the off season. This track only exists in the real world 2 weeks out of the year, and there's only 3 days of on-track action here at the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida. They say rain is the great equalizer. Well, if you put rain on a street course, man, it's literally anybody's game. It's beautiful weather here in Central Florida today, so we don't have to worry about the rain, but Robert Noaker has got Robert Stout starting to chase him down a little bit. Stout, last time by, 1.2 seconds back. It's going to be less than that this time by. Stout and the McCumbee-McAleer guys who he raced with last season did a ton of work. Now Robert Stout is with White Racing, and that gap cuts nearly 0.4 of a second, and Stout lays down the quickest lap of the race. Why is that important? 1 bonus point removed from Robert Noaker.
Michael Carter up to 7th now and still chasing down Robert Noaker, who leads in the best possible position that he can be, what he needs to do to have any shot at the championship. Michael Carter continues to need to struggle, and hey, look, there's a couple of other drivers. Matt Dirks, the rookie, who is also having another good run. Justin Piscatel is also having another solid run. He's had some struggles this weekend.
Piscatel driving for Maverick. They have just been there every single week into the season, and they get better and they get better and they get better. And sports car racing fans out here this weekend might recognize the name Shea Holbrook. Shea was brought in by driver-owner Brian Hickson to manage the team. Maverick Motorsports, I mean, technically they're just Maverick, but I like to put Maverick Motorsports or Racing or something on the end of it. But Shea Holbrook has come into a management position this season. She's a phenomenal driver in her own right. She's done a ton of sports car racing. Now she's taken a crack at team management here in the MX5 Cup Championship presented by BF Goodrich. And the results are showing for themselves because every weekend of this season, Maverick has gotten better. Justin Piscatel is a seasoned driver in his own right. He's been racing in the MX5 Cup on and off for the last 10 years, but it's really helping out to have Shea on that program. 1.2 seconds, then 0.9 of a second. Now 0.7 of a second is how far back Robert Stout is from race leader Robert Noaker, and Stout goes quicker again, 1:25.3.
The front four are starting to evolve into 2 battles of 2. The 2 Roberts, Noaker and Stout, and then Thomas and Piscatel seem to be almost starting to evolve into their own battles for first and for third. Dirk still remains ahead of Michael Carter. It looks like he is getting closer, though, and looks like he is starting to cut down on that lead. Carter seems to be taking that tactic. Okay, we still have about a half an hour remaining in this race. I don't have to get all the way to the front necessarily to catch Robert Noaker, but I do have to gain several positions to secure that championship.
You know, it's that old mentality of, you know what, I'm not going to points race. I'm going to go out and win as many as I can and let the points take care of themselves. Well, now Michael Carter finds himself in the position of not even worrying about winning as many races or winning this race. He just needs to pass as many cars as he possibly can, because, again, if Robert Noaker wins this race, it's going to be around the 7th, 8th position is the bubble that Michael Carter must finish. Remember, Carter, the driver out of Savannah, Georgia, comes into this final race of the 2020 season with a 17-point advantage. But if Noaker can win this race, and Carter is able to get, well, not counting bonus points. So say Noaker doesn't get the most laps led, which right now he's on a good track to do that. But if Noaker wins and Carter gets 1 bonus point, Carter needs to finish 8th or better. If Noaker wins and he gets 1 bonus point, Carter could also get a bonus point. Carter needs to finish 7th or better. If Robert Stout keeps laying down the fastest laps of the race, the scenario is as follows. If Noaker wins race 2 and gets 2 bonus points for laps led and fastest race lap, Carter needs to finish 5th or better. But like I said, Stout has been laying down really quick laps, so it looks like, I mean, really realistically, it's 7th position is the bubble that Carter has to finish in if he wants to hold on.
Michael Carter currently running 7th, but also putting pressure on Dirks and Kemper ahead of him. In fact, as they went by the last time, it looked like there was a little bit of damage to the back of that car of Dirks. It looked like there was a little bit of a little bumper damage, a little bit of a wrinkle, as Michael Carter looks to be trying to put some pressure on and improve his position around the back part of the course.
Yeah, Kemper. Apologies. Kemper is a seasoned racer in many different disciplines, but especially in Global MX5 Cup. He's a former scholarship driver. Drake, also a decorated former child actor, if you want to go look up his IMDb page. But the guy knows how to hustle an MX5 Cup car, and he and his crew chief, Brad Little, have gone off and done something new this season with Provision Motorsports out of the West Coast, which is frankly not where you see a lot of these MX5 Cup, really any of these MX5 Cup teams coming from. Robert Noacre's lead over Robert Stout now grows to 0.8 of a second. Meanwhile, Jared Thomas has got Justin Piscadell to not too far back. Oh boy, big gap now between Carter and Drake Kemper. Kemper is in 6th. Carter's still in 7th, but the deficit has grown. 12.6, 1.8 back from, so Carter's 1.8 seconds back from Drake Kemper, when last time by, you couldn't put a piece of paper between them.
There were a couple of tenths in between. That was Michael Carter, who was trying to gain those spots and had some issues and has now fallen further back. 7th, as you mentioned, right on the bubble, depending on bonus points. This could come down to a single point, or even, as you laid out, there are potential tiebreakers that may come into place with 28 minutes of racing left in this MX5 Cup event.
Yeah, and the number one tiebreaker the series will go to is most race wins. So obviously, if there is a tie, the breaker will go to the driver who has the most wins. And Noacre's sitting at the top right now. If he can hold on and win this race, it'll be his 4th victory of the season to Michael Carter's 3 victories. So they're tied right now even in wins at 3 apiece. Noacre swept the opening weekend in July at Road America. He won one of our 4 races at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And then Carter has been victorious at Mid-Ohio twice, and then once this morning at St. Pete. So they're fighting for a championship. They're even fighting for tiebreakers, Todd. That's how close this championship is.
2 Roberts remain out in front. The gap has grown a little bit back again. Robert Noacre leads Robert Stout by just a shade over 1 second. A little bit of a 4-second gap back to Thomas and Piscatell, who are running 3rd and 4th. Matt Dirks running 5th, who has also had a nice jump up from his starting spot back at 10th at the beginning of this race. He's jumped up into the top 5 as well. He did that as well this morning. Started back a little bit further in the field, but jumped up and gained several spots and had a top 5 result.
So I'll tell you what, I'm very grateful to be surrounded by people that are much smarter and better at their jobs than I am. Erin Segal from Sunday Group Management is one of those people. She has just texted me and let me know, as it stands right now, if the checkered flag were to fly here in St. Petersburg, although we still do have 26 minutes to go, Michael Carter would win the championship by 1 point unless Robert Noacre can get a single championship bonus point. If he does that, the tiebreaker will go to the most wins, and that would mean that Noacre would get his 4th win here today in St. Pete, giving the championship and the $200,000 scholarship to Robert Noacre. So things are a little close right now. I think the guys in the pits are sweating a little bit if they're invested in the 13 of Robert Noacre or the 08 of Michael Carter.
How great is this for the MX5 Cup Series? This is exactly the kind of racing that you want. Great close competition out on the track. There are battles from the front to back of this entire field. You're racing for a championship down to the final event of the season, and the points battle for the top runners at the final event of the season is so close with the scenarios currently playing out, we may have to go to tiebreakers to decide who gets a $200,000 check.
Yeah, that's what kind of competition Nelson Cosgrove and Jonathan Applegate and the men and women at Mazda Motorsports through their work with Anderson Promotions and IndyCar, who unfortunately at the end of the season we are stepping away from our partnership with IndyCar. But when you put those 3 organizations together, Mazda Motorsports, Anderson Promotions, and the governing body of IndyCar, you get competition like this. And I've always said it, it's pro-level racing on a near grassroots budget. And anybody sitting in the stands here today who might be watching this and going, you know what, that looks like a lot of fun. Well, A, you're right, partner, it is a lot of fun. And B, you could be doing it as well. There are arrive and drive opportunities and full season seats available in MX5 Cup every single season. And with going over to IMSA next year, boy, there's going to be a lot of great races on that calendar.
Robert Noaker continues to lead, followed by Stout, Thomas, Piscatel, and Matt Dirks rounding out the top 5. Michael Carter running in 7th. A very tight championship battle. It may go down to tiebreakers. A single point will decide it at the moment. But with just under 25 minutes of racing left, we're not even quite halfway through this race. There is still plenty that can happen. As we saw this morning in the first race, there was a lot that took place early on, and we had a lot of shuffling right down to the last lap when Robert Noaker claimed that podium position.
Championship bonus point, if it were to finish right now, for the fastest lap belongs to race leader Robert Noaker. And as Aaron Segal just told me, if things were to finish as they run right now, Noaker scores the win and Michael Carter finishes in 7th, which he's doing his best to fix because he's all over Drake Kemper. But if things were to end right now that Noaker has that bonus point for the fastest race lap, the championship would in fact go to the 16-year-old from Pennsylvania. But 23 minutes and some change still to go here. Also, you brought up a great point earlier, Todd. Drake Kemper's bumper was showing a little bit of wear and tear to it. Well, that's because Michael Carter's been wearing the darn thing out. It's actually seen so much love and affection for Michael Carter that it's fallen off the back of the number 99. But the bumper is in a safe spot. They got it off the racetrack, so there should not be a reason for a yellow flag or even worse, a black flag for Kemper.
Just watching as the cars are making their way around the back part of the course now, and it looked like Michael Carter may have gotten around Drake Kemper. I don't want to say for sure, but I just got a quick glance of it. It looks like he may have been able to get by that 99 car.
He did.
If he did, that will move him back into the championship lead with that one bonus point that Robert Noaker just picked up.
And the wages continue to go. It's like riding a seesaw. Every single lap, something changes here. Michael Carter has gotten around the number 99 from Provision Motorsports of Drake Kemper. So Carter goes from 7th. We'll see him come by this time to pick up 6th place on the timing and scoring board. The next car in front of him is rookie Matt Dirks. Let's take a look at the lap times here really quick and see what they've each been doing. Matt Dirks just clicked off a minute 26.2. Carter miraculously does a minute 26 flat. And why I say miraculously, because he executed a pass during that race lap. You almost never see a driver improve their lap time while also completing a pass on track. That's rare. That tells me Carter's got a lot left in the tank.
And he was going to be using it up in the final half of this race. We're just about to approach the midway point of our second MX5 Cup race of the day. Michael Carter was the winner this morning. Chased down Celine Roland for a few laps, then made the pass very nicely into corner number 1. Ran it the rest of the way through to the checkers to claim the victory. A victory, it turns out, he needed because he had difficulty at the start of race number 2. Just a few hours ago, he was out front. Now he is fighting for his life in his championship. He has managed to claw his way back up from 9th to 6th, and at the moment will hold a 1-point advantage. Can he do it for the final 22 minutes of this event?
Aaron Segal from Mazda Motorsports and Sunday Group Management letting me know that as they run right now, Carter holds 289 points, Noaker 287. Noaker's only hope after Michael Carter got up out of the danger zone of 7th and 8th, now Carter runs in 6th. Noaker's only hope is he must win this race and secure the bonus point for leading the most laps, which he's on track to do right now, and the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. If he cannot get those 2 bonus points, Michael Carter's your champion.
With 18 laps already down past the halfway point, he should get the bonus point for leading the most laps.
Yes.
Last check, he did have the bonus point for leading the fastest lap of the race. Although, as the fuel burns off in these cars, drivers will start to pick up a little more speed later on. We may see another faster lap. So this championship is still very far from decided.
6 weekends make up the MX5 Cup season. This is our 6th weekend, so 5.5 weekends have been completed so far. 11 races, each consisting of 45 minutes of on-track battling. Countless practice sessions and 6 qualifying sessions have been completed. All of that, hundreds and thousands of miles of traveling in the air, on the ground, going from Road America in northern Wisconsin to St. Petersburg, Florida, everywhere in between, and it still comes down to 20 minutes of racing in the downtown streets of St. Petersburg, Florida, because the top 2 are separated by only 2 points. And you bring up a great point, Todd. The fuel load will continue to burn off, decrease, the weight gets lighter. I would keep your eyes on Robert Stout in the number 3 for White Racing. He has traded fast lap honors all race long already with Robert Noaker. Stout can still lay down a fast lap. Michael Carter is slowly but surely reeling in Matt Dirks in front of him. The gap this time by 1.6 seconds. Carter is back from Matt Dirks. And every position he can gain, the better.
Michael Carter had a huge lap and a huge gain. He just threw down a 125.3. Matt Dirks ahead of him, a 126.1. He sliced about a half a second out of the gap on that one lap alone. Michael Carter definitely can't sit where he is and feel comfortable about securing a championship. You mentioned earlier in all of the scenarios, if he finishes 5th, there's nothing that Robert Noaker can do. So 6th and then perhaps 5th are within his sights right now.
Yeah, and he's trying to reel in that driver in 5th place from Northern Colorado, Matt Dirks, driving for the Northern Colorado team, White Racing. They are the next farthest out west team next to Provision Motorsport. Aaron Segal with lap-by-lap updates for us here. If Carter makes it to P5, she took the words right out of your mouth, Todd. Well, technically, you took the words out of her mouth because Aaron Segal confirms it. If Michael Carter can make it around Matt Dirks and hold on to 5th position, Robert Noaker can win. He can get both bonus points. He can do a backflip at the start-finish line, but it will not matter. So Carter knows now. And you better believe his crew is telling him the same thing. They are telling him to turn and burn and go get that number 76 of Matt Dirks. The gap continues to shrink. Here they come. Last time by, the deficit was 1.6 seconds. What is it here? Half of a second. So Carter takes more than a second out of the deficit to Matt Dirks' rear bumper in 5th place. Carter just has to get around one more car.
Carter just burned out another lap at a 125.6. Matt Dirks ahead of him did a 126.8. That's why the gap is being sliced down so quickly. Now, of course, catching a driver and passing him are two different things, as we have seen, and especially he wanted to be cautious because Matt Dirks is a rookie in this series, unlike Michael Carter, who has much more experience. It's a rookie in the series. They've raced through the season, but still a less experienced driver. You want to be sure you're going to be able to make that pass stick.
You bring up great points. That's what we talked about with Atanasio earlier, and he didn't become a factor, thankfully, but you would hate to see a rookie driver. And Dirks is a rookie for the next 17 and a half minutes because after this race is over, he will have a full season of pro-level global MX5 Cup racing under his belt, but we still do call him a rookie because he's been in contention for the Rookie of the Year honors all season long. So you're right. He does play a part in Michael Carter's future right now, and it's a very big part. That's a great shot of the field coming out of turn 10. They'll snake through 11 and 12. There goes your leader. Noaker is gone. I don't think Robert Stout now has enough time to catch him. Jared Thomas comes by in 3rd as your Rookie of the Year shoe-in champion. 4th is Piscatel, and Carter is nearly caught up. I don't think you can say he's caught him yet, but he is there. 1.2 seconds. Then it was half of a second. Now it's 0.3 of a second. Michael Carter to Matt Dirks. He can smell blood in the water.
17 minutes left in this final 45-minute sprint for the MX5 Cup Series this season. A championship still on the line. Robert Noaker is doing everything that he had to do. He has put up the quickest lap. He has led the most laps. He has led right from the beginning, but we've raced 21 laps, and Robert Noaker will lead the most laps and gain that bonus point. So he has done everything that he can do, and now must just maintain that comfortable pace out front and hope for something good to happen behind him.
Well, and here's the deal. I already know it's going to happen. It's going to be, man, you guys were cheering for Carter to win that championship. No, we're not cheering for anybody. It's just the fact that Carter fell back at the beginning. He's the more dramatic. He's the more interesting story. Robert Noaker has had an incredible season. After this morning's podium finish, if my math is correct, Noaker had finished on the podium 9 of the 11 races so far this season, and if he can win here, it'll be his 4th win in 12 races, obviously his 10th trip to the podium in all but 2 races in 2020. Robert Noaker is a 16-year-old kid from Pennsylvania. He's never won a championship at any level, he told Mazda Motorsports' PR yesterday. For him to come out here and fight tooth and nail all season long with the best of the best in global MX5 Cup racing, which in my opinion is some of the most equal level pro racing you're ever going to see. Noaker has not a single thing to be disappointed about. And as it runs right now, he is the champion unless Carter can get up to 5th place. So Noaker's got nothing to sneeze at, but Carter is just racing for his life right now and doing a great job.
He skinned just a little bit more of that deficit off on Matt Dirks. He's now within a little less than 0.3 of a second, and the things are tightening up a little bit further as they go through corner 4 right now, and then 5 and 6 in the back part of the course. Michael Carter, as we saw, will get right up underneath the bumper of the car ahead of him that he's looking to pass, and he has now caught up to Matt Dirks.
He's caught him now. I mean, you can't say that he's reeling him in anymore. Michael Carter is all over the back bumper of Matt Dirks. They come out of turn number 9. They'll hit that quick little kink on the left-hand side. Then they'll come down and get on the brakes, downshift a few gears, make their way to the left-hander, turn number 10, and that will spit them out onto Dan Weldon Way. As they pass the boats, they fly away from downtown. Boom, quick left-hander turn number, right-hander turn number 11, then 12, and then you've got the last 2 corners, 13 and 14. Carter is there, and man, it's in big thanks to IMS Productions for bringing us these awesome, beautiful images, and then Pro Racing Group, Kieran Guild, sitting in the truck right now, switching from camera to camera to camera, and he's doing a great job staying on this battle for 5th place because Matt Dirks has it, and Dirks doesn't have anything to gain. He can't win a championship. He's not even going to win Rookie of the Year, but he wants a 5th place finish. Why wouldn't you? You don't want to give up anything, so Dirks is not going to make this easy on Carter.
Here's the illustration of it's one thing to catch a driver, but another thing to pass him. Michael Carter, once he caught up to Matt Dirks on that lap, actually lost a little bit of ground. The gap has grown out of the final part of that lap that just concluded, lap 23. So Michael Carter has to do it again now. And again, if he gets 5th spot, he is assured of the championship. Where he is, there is no guarantee.
Exactly. You're exactly right. He's in 6th place right now. Noaker is going to get the bonus point for the most laps led. We know that part, okay? Now, if he can get the 2nd bonus point for leading the most laps and setting the fastest race lap, Carter has to finish 5th to make it happen. But as I understand it, and Aaron Seika will correct me here in a moment over text message if I'm wrong, Noaker's leading. If he gets both bonus points and the win, and Carter finishes in 6th, the championship is Noaker. So it literally is going to come down to the last lap, because even if Carter gets around Matt Dirks for the 5th position, it's not over. Anything could happen. Matt Dirks could stage a late race attack. Somebody else could come up. You've got Celine Roland in 7th place. You've got Drake Kemper in 8th place. 2 big hitters in the Global Mazda MX5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. Just outside of 10 minutes to go. Carter is behind Matt Dirks now by just nearly a half of a second. It's technically 0.449 tenths of a second. So 4 tenths, nearly 5 tenths of a second is how far back Michael Carter is from 5th place. And not to be too dramatic, but it's how far back Michael Carter is from a championship and $200,000. And we keep throwing around that term, that number, $200,000. Well, here's what that means. Mazda Motorsports is so vested in the future of American racing drivers, not even American racing drivers. If you come over to the MX5 Cup from another country and you enter and you race and you win here, doesn't matter where your passport says you're from, you are going to get financial support from Mazda Motorsports to continue your career. Mazda Motorsports every single year writes a $200,000 check. It's a scholarship career advancement check that is given to the champion to go racing the following season. Because as we all know, we're here in St. Petersburg, Florida at a crown jewel of North American motor racing. It doesn't get cheap, and it certainly doesn't get any cheaper after you win here. So Michael Carter, Robert Noaker, the 2 guys we're talking about, they're literally racing for their futures, because whoever wins the championship here today in the 12th round of the season is going to get $200,000 to go racing somewhere in 2021. So a lot is at stake here.
Robert Noaker has pulled out a better than 5-second lead on 2nd place runner Robert Stout. That's what he needs to do. He needs to win and collect as many bonus points as possible. Michael Carter has shaved that lead down once again on Matt Dirks just a little bit, just under 4 tenths of a second. No guarantee of a championship. In 6th place, Michael Carter needs 1 more position in the remaining just over 11 minutes of this race.
Robert Noaker leads, coming up on 10 minutes to go. Robert Stout from White Racing is in 2nd. Rookie of the Year champion Jared Thomas is in 3rd. Mavericks Justin Piscatel is in 4th. Matt Dirks, that driver we've been talking about in the highly contested 5th position, is just in front of championship leader Michael Carter, who's in 6th. Celine Roland, who started on the pole after his teammate did not take the green flag, So Roland runs in 7th. Kemper is in 8th. Alex Bashura is in 9th. This morning's Hard Charger award-winning driver, Joe Atanasio, is in 10th. Last year's champion, Brian Ortiz, is in 11th. Jackson Robillard is in 12th. NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year from 2010, Kevin Conway, runs in 3rd. John Jesbury is in 14th. Brian Hickson, 15th. Luke Oxner, out of this race, scored in 16th after contact on the opening lap. Gresham Wagner and Zach Lee did not take the green flag. So that's how they run with 10 minutes to go here. Leaders have already gone past the start-finish line. They're down into the opening corners. There goes Jared Thomas, Justin Piscadell, and the two we're watching. Matt Dirks in the black and green car leading championship leader Michael Carter in the red and white.
Looking to see what the interval is, but there is a problem further up because Michael Carter has gained a position. In fact, Robert
Stout
has slowed.
Marshals are reporting he has stopped at turn 9A. So depending on where Robert Stout's car has come to a stop, that could bring out a full course caution. And there it is. There it is. Double yellow flags waving from the hands of Aaron Likens. A full course yellow. And Todd, that means one thing. They're going to group back up. They're going to get Robert Stout's car off the track. A heartbreaker for him, but that seems to be his season. While running up front, something finds a way to go wrong. And we're going to get a green flag for a full race restart. And Michael Carter's future is literally in his two hands.
Okay, so as if we didn't have enough drama through the first 40 minutes of this race, once the cleanup is complete, we will have time to return to green. Right now, to set the scene, Robert Noaker running in the lead. He had a 5.2 second lead before going to yellow over Robert Stout, who had a mechanical issue and has stopped out on course. That has, of course, put him back in the field to the benefit of Michael Carter, who now runs in 5th position. If he maintains that 5th position, he will be assured of the championship. But with a green restart late in the race and every driver looking for position, guaranteed 5th spot is not guaranteed.
No, you're exactly right. It's not, and that's the thing. No, Carter didn't get around Matt Dirks before the yellow came out, but with second place Robert Stout falling out of the running of this race, everybody gets moved up a position. So Jared Thomas now picks up second. Piscatell is provisionally standing on a podium, the first of the season for Maverick in 3rd. Matt Dirks goes from 5th to 4th, and as you said it, Michael Carter goes from 6th to 5th. But just as I'm sitting here saying, oh man, that's the last thing Noaker wants. Carter's in the catbird seat. He can go get positions. Celine Roland can go get positions. Drake Kemper can go get positions. Carter is in a pressure cooker right now, like a brand new Instapot you might buy from Kohl's, because everywhere he looks, he's in danger. He can go forward, but he's also got people right behind him trying to take his 5th spot away and the championship lead.
That's exactly what we saw at the start of this race. Michael Carter, who started up near the front of the field in 3rd, fell back as far as 9th, and it has taken him 30 minutes of racing to claw his way back forward. A little bit of a benefit with Robert Stout falling back and dropping out, but Michael Carter worked very hard to claw his way all the way back up to 6th, and now is gifted the 5th spot with Robert Stout's problems.
And it's what we've been saying all race. It's what Aaron's been letting me know over text. Noaker can win. He can get the bonus point for most laps led. He can get the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. But if Michael Carter can finish in P5, it's all for naught. So the last person who wanted to see a yellow flag fly here, you better believe, was Robert Noaker, because they were banking on Carter not getting around Matt Dirks and them getting those 2 bonus points for leading the most laps, which he's done handedly, which Noaker's done a lot this season, lead all the laps, win the race. Road America, I think they're going to rename the place Robert Noaker Acres or something, but Noaker now is going to lead him to a full field restart. We're showing 6 minutes and some change, 6:45 on the clock. I don't know how long they're looking at getting Stout's car retrieved. He's obviously in a position we can't continue racing, so race control has frozen the field, letting the clock continue to roll. I can't imagine. They've got Stout's car right there on the hook. He's coming out of turn 14. So Stout's car is going to be off the track this time by. There's no way they can go green. I doubt it quite highly. So the pace car is probably going to bring him around. Yep, we see 1 to go from chief starter Aaron Likens. So they will see 1 lap remaining. They're going to pace the field under yellow, and then we will go green with probably 5 minutes to go in this race.
6 weekends, 11 races, and almost a complete 12th race, and the championship is still up for grabs between Robert Noaker and Michael Carter. Carter sitting in 5th. is assured of the championship if he can remain there through the final 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes that are remaining in this event. Robert Noaker has done everything he needed to do, run the fastest lap. He has led the most laps in today's race to collect those bonus points. But Michael Carter is close enough to the front of the field right now that he will have enough points to guarantee him a championship, but all that can change on this restart.
Carter loses one spot, and it goes back to Robert Noaker, barring anybody coming up and laying down an even faster lap, which I don't see happening with these tires cooling down under yellow and it being so bunched up. Everybody's going to be right on top of each other once we do go back racing. The 1-to-go signal has been given. The lights will go off atop the MX5 Cup safety car. Gail Truitt, when she gets over here to turn 10, will be told to leave the pack in the dust, and they will get ready for a full field single file restart. Robert Noaker isn't out of the woods yet either. Jared Thomas picked up his first win of his MX5 Cup career back in round number 9 at New Jersey. You better believe Thomas would like to get that Rookie of the Year, the $75,000 that comes along with it, and another race win. So folks, settle in. Get somewhere where you can see the racing, even if it's just a Jumbotron, because things are about to get big in a big way for the season finale here in 2020 for MX5 Cup.
And don't forget Justin Piscatell trying to collect that podium spot. Maybe he'd like to be better than in third place on that podium before the end of this race. We'll have a little over 4 minutes left in this 45-minute race as the cars circulate around and come back to green. It'll be a single file restart once again as the green flag is waved on the final, what we believe will be the final restart for the 2020 season.
Julie Conlon from South Carolina is watching live right now. She is enjoying her Instapot, and she's enjoying the pressure-like packed action that you have here in MX5 Cup. Julie, thanks for watching. We are racing. Green flag in the air, and it all ends here in St. Pete. Championship leader Michael Carter trying to go to the inside of Dirks, but Dirks is trying to go to the inside of Justin Piscatell. Dirks is going to get around. He's going to carry too much speed on corner exit. Piscatell's going to get around. Dirks throws the back end out. That allows Carter to get by. Drake Kemper to get by. So move Carter up to 4th. The championship is his if he can just stay there. They're coming around to see the last few laps to go.
3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this 45-minute race. Jared Thomas is putting the pressure on Robert Noaker, who has led for so much of this race, had built a better than 5-second lead before that caution flew, and now he is feeling the heat in these last couple of laps as well.
Justin Piscatell for Maverick is all in the podium as it runs right now, running 3rd place. If he can just stay right there, he will pick up the first piece of hardware for Maverick all season long here in 2020. But he's got championship leader Michael Carter right behind him. And Matt Dirks, man, you got to take your hat off to him. He dove bomb heading into turn 1, trying to get around Piscatell. But Piscatell saw it coming from a mile back, said, I'm just going to let him wash out. And that's exactly what he did. And as you said earlier, Todd, that is just a little bit of the rookie, the wet behind the ears, still getting dried off when it comes to Matt Dirks. Dirks has run a phenomenal race, and it was a great pass. He's just got to keep the car underneath him a bit longer.
It looks so inviting as you're trying to go up the inside and thinking there's going to be an opportunity to make that pass and gain that position, but then suddenly the racetrack turns to the right, and you've got to be able to adjust for it. And Michael Carter looks like he's not content to wait back and forth. He's having a peek up the inside, hoping to end this season on the podium.
Carter took a look to the inside of Justin Piscatell. I don't believe he was able to complete it. He took a look, but he knows right now, and you got to believe his team is radioing him, hey, you're in a good spot. Don't do anything crazy. Don't get out of control right now. You are where you need to be. No, Carter did not get around, but Carter also needs to be careful because as he took that look to the inside of Piscatell, it allowed Celine Roland from Spark Performance to get right up behind him. Roland has scored in the 5th position. Carter wants a podium. He wants to get another trophy with his championship hardware, but if he's not careful, he's going to slip back a spot. Yes, he'd still be 1 position to the good, but why risk a good thing if it's already going for you? You know what I mean?
Under 2 minutes remaining in the 2020 MX5 Cup season that is concluding here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Robert Noaker with the lead. Michael Carter where he needs to be, currently running 4th. That will assure him of a championship.
Field's going to make their way out of the last 2 corners here at the streets of St. Petersburg Grand Prix. Turns 13 and 14. It's a long arcing right-handed U-turn that puts them back onto the front straightaway here as they run away from the Tampa Bay and all the boats and the white caps that are sitting on it. The white flag flies. 1 lap to go in this race. 1 lap to go in St. Pete. 1 lap to go in the 2020 Mazda Global MX5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. Michael Carter's in 3rd. Drake Kemper's in 5th, trying to make a move. Celine Roland. I take that back. Carter's in fourth, trying to make a move for third position. They tiptoe through the final corners for the last time. Todd, if they stay this way, Michael Carter's your 2020 champion.
The front two seem to have gapped a little bit between third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. That bunch also tied together. I don't know if Thomas is going to have an opportunity to get around Carter, but there is a fight behind them.
Matt Dirks just threw a haymaker on Drake Kemper in the right-hander, turn number 4. Kemper stayed at home. Matt Dirks is just going for broke right now. He wants to regain as many positions as he can. The field makes their way out of 7, 8, and 9. The 3 right-handers from the far side of the track. They'll come back down over the kink into the left-hander, turn number 10, and it's all but said and done, Todd. 45 minutes of racing. 2 full course yellows. Robert Noaker leading from the get-go, setting the fastest lap of the race, leading the most laps. He's had an incredible season. It'll be his 4th victory in 12 races spread out over 6 weekends. No one is going to say that he hasn't done phenomenally this year, but it's not going to be enough because Michael Carter, running in 4th right now, provisionally is your 2020 MX5 Cup Series champion. Noaker's going to drag race with Jared Thomas to the line. Noaker gets his 4th win of 2020. Thomas comes home second. Piscatell podiums for Maverick, and Carter wins the $200,000 and the championship that comes along with it. He's going racing professionally next year.
It was a fight for 45 minutes. Off the start, we had that early caution. Michael Carter fell back from the start all the way to 9th position and then really had to work the traffic to claw his way forward, get back up into a position where he could fight and battle and gain enough positions to ensure himself of enough championship points to collect that big check that you talked about. 4th position, it was good enough. In fact, it was one better than it had to be.
You know, the air does not move a lot inside the open cockpits of these MX5 Cup cars. You might see them. You might see no roof on them. You might think, oh, it must be nice and breezy in there. Well, it's not. These drivers work up a sweat. It's intense for 45 minutes. But if you think anybody is sweating more than Michael Carter has been after these last 45 minutes, I think you would be wrong, because coming from the back after that early race misstep put him back in 9th position. He wasn't going to win the championship if he stayed there. Carter knew what he had to do. He worked back from 9th place, where he fell to on the opening lap, to claw up to 6th. Then Robert Stout falls out of contention. That bumps him up to 5th. He goes and gets around Matt Dirks. He finishes in 4th. He's the series champion. But man, what a season. And I think folks need to remember, Robert Noaker is a 16-year-old kid from Pennsylvania. He has done phenomenally. He has shown spades of patience in 2020. He's shown that he can keep up. He can race. He can battle. He and Jared Thomas, 2 of the youngest drivers in the field, have just wowed everybody, I think, in 2020.
Great run for Jared Thomas as well, and he was in the hunt for that victory, trying to snatch it away from Robert Noaker up until the very late stages of this event, really pushing him after that late restart into the final lap and into the final couple of corners before Noaker had gained enough distance and put enough of a gap on it that he decided to dive down to the inside of the pit wall to acknowledge his team and his crew for a sensational season. 1 spot short in the championship, but as you mentioned, a terrific year in 2020.
Yeah, coming up short in the championship fight, especially with all that's on the line, is never going to feel good. But getting that 4th win of the season, I mean, that's at least a bright spot when you look at 2020 for Robert Noaker. They finish like this. Jared Thomas comes home second. He'll pick up $75,000 for Rookie of the Year honors. Justin Piscatell fights and claws for the first podium finish of his season, as well as the first podium finish for his team, Maverick. Michael Carter finishes in 4th for Carter Racing Enterprises, and he locks up the championship and the $200,000. Celine Roland comes home 3rd in the overall standings after finishing 5th. Drake Kemper rebounds after a DNF in race 1 to finish 6th. Matt Dirks for White Racing comes home in 7th. Alex Bashura for Slipstream is 8th. Joe Attanasio, the 16-year-old, has another great debut race here in his first weekend, finishing 9th. Brian Ortiz, the reigning 2009 Series champion, comes home in 10th position. But that's it. It's done. Normally it all starts here in St. Pete. This year it all finished here. And man, was every single minute a lot of fun and very exciting.
Tony, it was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and I know it was a great season for you. Once it got started, it was a bit crazy, but Tony Laporte, terrific job with the MX5 Cup. I know you're headed to the podium right now, as a matter of fact.
I got a podium to go do. I got road to Indy races, and then I got to go find someone who knows how to tie a necktie, because I've got a championship banquet with these guys tonight. But Todd, great job. Thanks for all the help. You're doing a great job keeping everybody informed here at St. Pete. And wherever MX5 Cup is racing next year, I hope you tune in and watch.
Be there. Tony Laporta, the voice of the MX5 Cup, and we've got more racing coming up. Porsche GT3 Cup is coming up next. NTT IndyCar Series qualifying will follow that. USF 2000 and Indy Pro races will wrap up our Saturday here at the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Thank you for cooperating with our COVID-19 protocols. It's been a sensational couple of days so far, and we're looking for a safe and smooth weekend. We're going to take a quick break. We'll try to squeeze in some podium ceremonies for the MX5 Cup and get you set for Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge racing in just a moment.
Brooke from Auburn gave Firestone Tires a try and said,
Gentlemen, welcome to Victory Lane here at the streets of St. Petersburg Grand Prix. We just wrapped up 6 weekends, 12 rounds of MX5 Cup racing. These drivers are right here. They're hot, they're sweaty, but they can hear you. If you enjoyed that racing, how about you let them hear it and make a little noise? The 2020 championship season has concluded. First, we're going to kick things off, as always, by introducing you to the Hard Charger award-winning driver here in round 12. Then we'll introduce you to the top 3 finishing drivers and their teams in the last round of the season, and then we will crown our 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup Series champion. Kicking things off, scoring the 12th and final Hard Charger award of the 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup season from Maverick. Please welcome your Hard Charger number 9, Justin Piscatel. Joining him, crew chief Shay Corley and Brian Hickson, team owner and driver at Maverick, to present Justin Piscatel with the 12th Hard Charger award of the season. He'll put the checks up. Folks, how about it? Let your Hard Chargers hear it. Make some noise. A great weekend here in St. Pete for Maverick. Brian Hickson's team coming home with a Hard Charger award, and you're going to see that driver, Justin Piscatel, here again very, very shortly. We'll now introduce you to the top 3 podium finishers in the 12th and final round of the 2020 season. You just met him once already as your Hard Charger. I'm trying to stall so he gets all the way back around to the other side of the podium, finishing in 3rd place, driving the number 9 for Team Maverick. Please welcome Justin Piscatel. Look at that, up and down the stairs like it's no problem. Piscatel comes home in 3rd, the first podium finish of the season for both Justin and his team Maverick. Finishing ahead of him in 2nd place today, this driver picks up Rookie of the Year honors and $75,000 that comes along with it. Out of North Vernon, Indiana, the number 96, Jared Thomas. Thomas stands on the podium in 2nd after picking up his first win in New Jersey. Justin Piscatel stands on the final podium of the year in 3rd, scoring the win, his 4th of the 2020 season, wrapping up a championship 2nd place season. Your winner, driver the number 13, it's Robert Nowaker. There you have it, folks, your 12th and final podium of 2020. Drivers' trophies in the air. Folks, show them some love and send them out of here with some love. Robert Nowaker, 4 wins in 2020 after dominating the opening weekend in Road America back in July. He scored a win at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and he gets it done for the 4th and final time here in the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida. Jared Thomas caps off his sensational Rookie of the Year campaign with a runner-up finish here today in the streets of St. Pete. And Justin Piscatel finishes 3rd. Trophies up, folks, one more time. Let them hear you here in St. Pete. Have it. Your final podium of the 2020 season, Robert Nowaker racks up his 4th win here in 2020. Jared Thomas comes home in 2nd, and Justin Piscatel comes home in 3rd. Don't go anywhere, folks, because we're about to crown our 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup Series champion. They're going to reset the podium here and get ready to send him up with the check, the trophy, and all the fixings that come along with a 2020 championship. Jonathan Applegate from Mazda Motorsports brings up the big trophy. We'll send up the big check here in just a moment. This driver did exactly what he had to do here in 2020. After falling back at the start of this one, he rebounds to finish 4th. He misses the podium, but he gets the amount of points he needed to get the championship, the trophy, and the $200,000. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion out of Savannah, Georgia, it's Michael Carter. Michael Carter gets the Drivers' Championship here in Global Mazda MX5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich. The team championship also goes to Carter Racing Enterprises, After both drivers leave with Mazda scholarships, Michael Carter gets the $200,000 career advancement, and Jared Thomas gets the Rookie of the Year honors. Folks, one more time, Michael Carter's your champion. Send him out of here with some love. Make some noise. Folks, that will do it here in the streets of St. Petersburg, Florida. The 2020 Global Mazda MX5 Cup rides off. In 2021, to keep up with everything MX5 by following on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as Michael Carter makes his move into professional racing in 2021. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Enjoy the rest of the weekend here at St. Pete, and we'll see you down the road.